Okay, we're back with Grazel one more time, and we're going to be talking again about the non-ADHD partner in the relationship. But this one's about how can they get the right support because they might need some support. So, Grazel, what kind of support do they typically need in that kind of relationship dynamic?
Yes. Again, just, for clarity purposes, the non-ADHD partner we're focusing on today is neurotypicals. And for neurotypical who is partner with someone who has ADHD and the unmanaged ADHD traits is affecting your connection, your emotional connection, I think it's really important to uh know that that's happening. And once you know that's happening and you're feeling burnt out as a neurotypical and you're taking a lot of responsibility that's not yours to take on, that's your guide to reach out for help and ask your partner, can we work together in creating a structure that helps us both so I don't feel alone in the relationship? Next, you can always ask, you can share, like, it would really help me if we could find a calendar that we can work on together. Something visible. It has to be something visible. It can't be electronic
Mhm.
because for the ADHD brain, they have to see something in order to attend to it.
Mhm.
It's a lot easier for their brain. So the neurotypical person cannot provide a suggestion that doesn't work for the brain of an ADHD partner because they're putting that system to fail. It's
Mm.
not going to work.
Yeah, yeah.
The system has to work for both of their neurotypes.
Mhm.
So I want to encourage neurotypicals to know that the way the neurotypical brain works does not work for someone with ADHD and vice versa.
Mm.
So you can't push the way your brain works and expect that's going to happen in the systems that you've created based on your brain. It has to be a system for both.
Yeah. And you talked about like having a calendar, having a physical thing that can be a support that you can use to find things that will work for both of you. Um, how can they implement those types of things without making their partner feel shame? Because I imagine as an ADHDer, you're probably feeling quite a lot of shame for how your brain works already. And then your partner says, "Hey, we're going to use this calendar, and that's going to make sure that you know exactly what's happening, and you can stick to these deadlines."
Right, right. So what's really good about uh teamwork is that the team is working together, not one person is taking the lead, right? Both people are working together. So that's step one. The neurotypical can provide suggestions and ideas. The ADHD partner can provide suggestions and ideas. They will be different suggestions. And then in the middle, they can make it work and pick, oh, this works for my brain and this doesn't work for my brain. Then they have to find another idea that works for both of them. So it doesn't feel shaming to the ADHD partner. Now, if it's the calendar, if the neurotypical says, I would like to have a calendar, the ADHD partner can say, okay, I'm open to having that, but my brain can only use a calendar when it's visible. The ADHD partner has to have language for that as well.
Yeah.
If the ADHD partner doesn't have language for what they need, then automatically the neurotypical person's brain is going to create a task for that. And then it's going to take lead,
Mm.
naturally so. The neurotypical would say, well, then we can do A, B, and C, and D. And then by the time those ideas land, the ADHD partner is already overwhelmed and can't focus. So one thing at a time.
Mhm.
Once they come to an agreement that a visible calendar is helpful, pointing fingers, like what you said, no, you need to focus on this so
Yeah.
you can remember, so you can follow through. When you notice that your language is using you statements, you know that you're pointing at your partner and there is shame embedded in pointing fingers,
Yeah.
right? Even if you say I'm not shaming my partner, in the message, in the approach where you're using you statements with a critical voice, there's shame embedded in that. And your partner is going to feel even more ashamed about how bad they're doing. So I think it's really important to be kind, compassionate, very careful, use assertiveness as much as possible when you're creating systems with your partner so they don't feel ashamed.
Mm. And going back to those you statements for a second, that if you notice yourself using those statements, it's not always that you're trying to shame your partner. It can just be a pattern in your speech that you need to kind of break and get out of and just be aware of, because we all have these patterns in how we speak. I take a lot of gaps mid sentence, and it's something that I constantly try and break because people don't know when
Uh,
I've finished talking. Uh,
mhm.
so it's important. I think it's important to have that level of self awareness and to really be able to hone in on that on both
Yeah,
sides.
absolutely. I think pausing is really important, slowing down, maybe just kind of thinking about your response beforehand, and how you're going to approach it. And then again, it's not about perfection, it's about connection, right? So if your approach in the beginning didn't land to your partner and sounded shaming, and you notice that your partner is not engaged with you anymore,
Mhm.
remember, we can always repair in the moment. We can always say, oh shit, I just fucked up. Or, oh crap, I just hurt your feelings. I can see it in your face. Let me reframe what I said. I probably sounded critical. It's not my intention. We can always come back and repair a mistake. But if you start to think that a mistake is shameful, you're not going to repair it,
Mm. Yeah, and
right?
then you end up doubling down on your mistake, and you just make the situation worse.
Yes, yes. I always tell my clients, like, it's okay if we make mistake. We can always repair in the moment and say, oops, I lost it. Sorry.
Mm.
Let me reframe.
Yeah, so in terms of the couple coming to therapy, I mean, these are the types of things that you teach, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I teach it in a way that's experiential.
Hmm.
So I'm not telling you directly, like, this is what you need to do. I'm having you get into your body so that you can experience the felt sense of emotion.
Hmm.
And that's going to guide you to speak in a way that's attuned to your own emotions and needs
Hmm.
without disrespecting or shaming your partner.
Hmm. This is an interesting question. I'm not sure if you'll have an answer, but is there does the does the non-ADHD partner ever get to the point where things feel like they're 50-50, or will they always be picking up a little bit of the slack?
Great question. When you say 50-50, what does that mean? 50-50, like leaning out of the relationship, like I can't
in,
do this
ter-
anymore.
in terms of like workload or like
Oh,
household management, or the tasks that an ADHD their brain just struggles to complete.
yeah. I mean, hard to answer that.
Mm,
It's you have to be careful, because you each partner can be biased based on their contribution to the relationship,
mm,
based on how their brain works. So each of them can say, well, I'm taking care of a lot of things. You just don't see it.
mm.
That's true. There's invisible contributions.
Yeah.
Now, the other partner can say, I'm also taking care of a lot of things, but you don't notice it. So you have to be careful. I think a good team will not tally. A good team, a healthy relationship will not say, I did this and you didn't do that.
Mm,
If you start to see that you're doing that, then You don't have secure attachment in your relationship yet. Now, will the neurotypical partner end up taking more of the load? Not necessarily. When it's balanced, it's balanced, and you're not tallying. So I guess that's my healthy answer to that. Because
Yeah.
if I say yes, it will be a biased answer.
Yeah. And that just hearing you talk about tallying, that reminds me of literally some of the best relationship advice I've ever heard. Someone was saying when they get home, or like their husband gets home from work or whatever, the first conversation they have is like, okay, how much have you got? And if they say, oh, I'm at 20%, okay, well, I've got 80. And then it kind of flips back and forth, and like it's never going to be 50-50 all the time. Sometimes you're giving 95 and because the other person only has 5. But it's not,
Yes,
it might be that way for a season. It's not long term, and you need to be aware of that if you're in a relationship.
absolutely. If you end up tallying, then I think there's deeper issues that need to be looked at.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, well, I did this and you did that. Well, I did this, you didn't do that. Well, then that's kind of blame, and you're going to defend. And then now you have to see a couples therapist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So okay, for the non-ADHD partner, what practices can help them stay emotionally resourced while they're working through all these ADHD related challenges? Are there things that they can do on a regular basis that are going to help them to manage everything?
Absolutely. To close off, always make sure that you have your own support. If you're over functioning and you're being overly responsible, that's not healthy. I'm talking about overly. You need to find a balance. If you're going on the edge, over the edge of taking responsibility that's not yours, you need to seek support. Do individual therapy. Find someone that knows about ADHD, even if you don't have ADHD, right? Um, Try not to isolate. Make sure that you're still doing things that's good for you and asking your partner for help, right? Don't try not to think that your partner is not capable to giving you the space and the time that you need. They are. So trust is really important. But for neurotypicals, once they see patterns of consistent lack of follow through from their partner, of course they're not going to trust their partner that is going to be dependable and be able to meet their needs. Have a little bit of trust that if you ask your partner for time because you need a break, know that your partner is an adult and they can do it. They can tell you, yeah, go ahead, take as much time as you need. Take 5 hours if you need to, right? I'll take care of stuff. But when you get home, just know that the things that were taken care of may not have been taken care of the way you want it to. And that's okay,
Yeah.
right? Like you can work together to
Yeah.
take care of it. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't take a step back and then also have this control thing at the same time.
Yes.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. Yes. No.
Um, yeah, well, I mean, we'll keep talking about this in future, I'm sure, because these are just so deep topics. But thanks again for your time, Grazel, and we'll speak again soon.
You're welcome. Thank you.